had low expectations, and then I ended up really liking it. And I do think I might be in the minority based on reactions I've seen and heard from others. What did you think?
I pressed play and it was like, oh my God, I love this. I did text you during the listen and just said, this is luxury.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to Life of a Showgirl at the very end, I was like, I don't think I like this.
So you were hiding your real feelings. I see. Well, everybody, this is Queer Cinema Catch-Up, the podcast where we talk about movies, TV, and miscellaneous topics through a queer lens. And today is a miscellaneous topic. But by miscellaneous, we don't mean new, which is not the definition of miscellaneous. Anyway.
And in fact, this will be now our third episode on this particular subject.
Yes, we've done an episode on Taylor Swift, the idea that Taylor Swift would be queer. That was like our third episode.
I know. We really got into it. And then we did the Tortured Poets department.
Like kind of an album review, which we've also done for Billie Eilish's last album as well. And did we do one for Mayhem?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, so we occasionally do music on this podcast, but now we are reconvening once again to review and discuss the newest album, which came out yesterday, although when this airs, it'll have been about a week, called The Life of a Showgirl.
Well, today we're talking about Showgirl, so I thought, how fitting to wear a shirt for one of my favorite showgirls.
No Doubt shirt?
Yeah.
We're talking about my favorite artist, and you're repping your favorite artist.
So, to give some backstory,
yes,
Alice and I, while we were roommates, we listened to Midnights together.
Oh, yeah.
When it first came out, also listened to the Tortured Poets department together.
Yeah.
And so the first time of a new release from Taylor that we listened to it separately. I remember my experience with Midnights, and it was a very interesting experience, is for me, it's like instrumentation, the singing, like that's most important to me, like almost the vibe of it, for lack of a better word. Whereas I thought it was so funny with Alice when we listened to Midnights, she had the lyrics pulled up for every song. I was like reading through like the lyrics. Like I never, there's so many songs that I've listened to that I love that I didn't even know what the lyrics were about.
Yeah.
To analyze the lyrics on first listen. So that always stuck with me. But I remember when I listened to Midnights, I would listen to songs and I'd be like, oh, this is kind of like not good. I feel like you never want to ruffle any for this. You're like, yeah, I guess not. But secretly you told me later, you're like, no, I loved it on first listen. I was like, oh. But something happened with Midnights where none of the songs really stuck with me aside from Anti-Hero. But then something happened. I felt compelled the next day to listen to the album. And then all of a sudden it just became part of my rotation to listen to Midnights from beginning to end. And I ended up like loving it and feeling really connected to it.
And specifically Bejeweled. You were so annoyed. You were so pissed at that song when we listened to it the first time.
So pissed off.
And then you came out of your room and you're like, I listened to it 4 times in a row.
Yeah. It's weird. It becomes this like earworm.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So my first reaction, I've come to realize, especially with Taylor Swift, kind of like shifts.
Sure.
And then we listened to Tortured Poets department with that knowledge. And that's an album that I didn't return back to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was just, I was so maybe overwhelmed and exhausted by the fact that there were like 30 songs.
Mm-hmm.
But The Life of a Showgirl, what were your thoughts? Did you like it? How does it compare? I have so many questions. I have so many curiosities.
Well, I usually don't like reading album spoilers because the albums usually leak a couple days before because of, the fact that the physical merchandise goes somewhere and people are mean and they leak stuff. But I decided this time I did want to have a sense of what it was going to be like, because I feel like I get my hopes up really high a lot of the times for Taylor Swift music, and I just didn't want to have like an emotional reaction to any of it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I just want to like listen to this album and kind of already know what I'm getting into. So I did that. And I kind of knew that some of the lyricism wasn't going to be as strong, perhaps, as other albums, which I don't know if I necessarily, it's definitely maybe not poetic, but my long and short of it is that I had low expectations, and then I ended up really liking it. And I do think I might be in the minority based on reactions I've seen and heard from others. What did you think?
I did text you once during the listen and just said, this is luxury.
Oh. Were you punking me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I liked the word luxury because it's a little more open-ended. So
you were hiding your real feelings. I see.
I kind of was hiding I would say luxury is a more positive word than
It is.
than
It is.
negative.
It
But I
is.
texted you, this album's pure luxury, and you said, I know I'm on song 4. And I was like, what? And I sent you a screenshot because I too was also on song 4, which I guess makes sense. We probably both started listening to the album as soon as it was released.
But at the same time, it's like you don't like. Wasn't like eagerly like must press play the second it comes out. I was like, oh, especially because in Chicago and in LA, it doesn't come out at midnight. It comes out earlier, so it's not like it's that late. So I was kind of like, oh, it's out now. I'm gonna listen. Maybe it was like 4 minutes after the release, but it's still that is very kismet. I feel like we often end up watching or listening to things at the same time, even now that we are in separate places.
Yes. But then as soon as I texted you that, something happened where I started like continuing to listen to the songs and I wasn't
hooked.
And then by the time I got to Life of a Showgirl, and I was like, I don't think I like this. And then I went on a subreddit and people were ripping this fucking album apart, saying how terrible it was. It was horrendous. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I guess this is a bad album. And then the next day, I listened to the album again. I was like, wait, no, I love this.
I was like, where is this going? Where is this going?
A lot of the criticism I saw online was more so that they felt the packaging didn't fit the album. And I could see agreeing to that, but then I could also see there being a deeper message where it actually is true to what she has sold to us. So I'm excited about to talk about this. But yeah, I feel like this is for me, it feels more of that kind of like saturated
midnighty.
Yeah, kind of like Midnight's, kind of like that cool saturation that I really liked about that song. And yeah, the earworm effect happened for me again that I experienced with Midnights is what I'm trying to say.
So that I appreciate that perspective, and I'm glad because I feel like if a lot of the commentary out there is going to be negative, I like that we're kind of
positive,
we're kind of out of step. But I will just quickly say that for me, like I'm always going to listen to all of the albums multiple times just because of the level of commitment I've given to Taylor Swift at this point. But I actually do love Torture Poets Society Department. What?
The Torture Poets Department.
What I appreciate about that album is it's much more, it is like about the lyrics, I think, and like walking around, like listening to those songs and feeling deep, dark thoughts. And that's not this album. Yeah. And it is, I like was like, I was just listening to the songs one by one. And I mean, there are a few on Life of a Showgirl I don't like, but I imagine in time I'll probably like them more. But just I was kind of like having a good time, you know, I was dancing. I was like, oh, this is not what it was like listening to Torture Poets Department at all. Like I'm just kind of bopping my head.
Yeah. And that was my intention of bringing up when we had listened to Midnights, and you did it with Torture Poets Department too, that you're so interested in reading the lyrics as the song's playing, where that's how I very much felt like the Torture Poets Department.
We needed to read the lyrics.
It's about the lyricism. So it's 30 songs. She's getting all her writing out there.
It's a novel.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't do that this time, actually. I decided not to listen. And I can tell the lyrics are simpler.
Yeah.
But before we go deeper into the album, I wonder if we should, like a great showgirl, quickly have a costume change.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Do you have something you want to share on camera?
This thing came in the mail. I wouldn't buy something so elaborate, but it arrived. So we're gonna do a little unboxing. I don't really know. Gosh. My puppy is also interested. What's this? This is a Showgirl cardigan.
Oh my gosh, that looks like, can I use the word luxurious? Looks like a very.
It looks like very.
Is it wool? What is? Oh my god! Oh, the CD.
The CD. I don't know why. The fact that they use this giant box.
I bet they ship.
Judging.
Did you have the option to get like a vinyl version too? I wonder if they just use the same packaging for also the vinyl version.
If I had known, I would have gotten. I don't have any vinyls. I would have gotten a vinyl. I only bought this because I saw this cardigan. Well, I saw the ad for this cardigan and I loved it. And I was like, I don't care that it comes with a CD, even though I don't have a CD player. I must have this
physical media.
Yes, it's about the fashion.
Oh my gosh, there's stars on it. I love that.
Yeah, it's all glittery. The buttons have glitter.
Oh my gosh.
This is an ad. Okay.
I love that. How fitting.
All right.
Amazing.
Go for it. What?
Yeah. Let's see the back also. Well, I thought the whole thing online, it was circulating. Maybe it's the vinyl version, but they said that the song titles were shaped like the Eras Tour stage.
This is definitely not. There are several album
variations.
I think it's the way they play the game these days to get number one, and she likes to win in spite of some of what she says on this album. She likes to win.
Yeah, she does like to win.
Did you want to go track by track?
Maybe before we go into that, before the album was released, she announced it on Travis Kelce's brother's podcast that she was coming out with this album. She shows the artwork. And what was your takeaway? Like, what did you think of the album art? What did you think that maybe the album would sound like before you read the spoilers?
You know, when she announced the title, The Life of a Showgirl, my mind kept saying The Death of a Showgirl. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like
because she did the Eras Tour, she's bigger than big. Like where's there to go from there? Is that what you mean?
I guess so. That paired with the images, which are very, like, even this cover image, it's like she's in a bath. She's gazing. Someone's seen her. I don't know if I would think that she's happy in this photo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more like an arrested kind of stare. And then I imagine what tour must be like a 3.5-hour show every couple days. Seems grueling, seems exhausting. So from the beginning, I've kind of had this like confused sense of like, what will this be, a happy album? That's kind of what she said, implied on the podcast. Is this going to be a darker album? The images suggest darkness to me in some uncanny, like we shouldn't be seeing this kind of way. But then that isn't really what the album is unless you read it in a certain way based on the final track, which is how I think you should read the album.
Ooh, I'm excited to talk about that. I thought, didn't she have like a quote where she's like, this album is about, I did this giant tour and these songs are supposed to capture like the life of a showgirl, but not in the way that you'd expect. It's like when I'm in the hallway, going from the green room to the stage, these are like moments behind the scenes kind of. And that's kind of like speaks to the album cover. She's like in maybe like an ice bath that you could assume is after her performance. A lot of the shots, some of the like artwork inside the pamphlet, like shows her like in a staircase with other showgirls. Like you're seeing like kind of like the scaffolding in a way.
There's something discordant about that based on some of these songs, which are very like upbeat and fun.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a show.
Yes. Which
maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
I think maybe we should talk about the title track first, even though it's the last song. The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter.
Right. And so it's so interesting because Sabrina Carpenter, in a way, is Taylor Swift's protege. Mm-hmm. She started opening for Taylor Swift during the Eras Tour, right?
Yeah.
She had like released, I think, like 3 albums already. And then she had released Emails I Can't Unsend, I think is the name of it. Mm-hmm. She goes on tour with Taylor Swift. A massive, like it started like she popped up. I didn't even know who she was at first. Like she was getting recommended to me on Spotify. I didn't know who Sabrina Carpenter was. And then all of a sudden she comes out with Short and Sweet, and she just is like, she's probably one of the more famous artists of today, especially with the younger generation.
I was aware of her from Girl Meets World for sure, because I kind of was aware of that show. But then I feel like I knew of her from Short and Sweet, and I think that came out before she toured with Taylor, no?
I don't know about that.
Oh.
Because I remember seeing like online criticism of the Short and Sweet album that she had like stolen it from like an Instagram ad or something like that. So she was already getting like intense, harsh criticism that I assumed was because she was kind of enraptured in the Swift universe of being overly criticized.
Interesting.
Let me just look.
I feel like I'm pretty sure it was after.
Sabrina Carpenter toured with Taylor Swift as a supporting act on the Eras Tour in Latin America in August 2023, all the way to Singapore 2024. And Short and Sweet came out August 23rd, 2024. So she had been on tour with Taylor Swift before.
Wow.
A year before. She started a year before.
Does Short and Sweet have the songs like Please, Please, Please and all of that?
Yes, and Espresso.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I really didn't know that. I really thought.
It was the one Emails I Can't Unsend.
What songs were on that?
Oh, Emails I Can't Send.
Oh.
The big one, Nonsense, was like the one that was popping up on my Spotify.
Okay.
But she had 5 singles from that, and that album came out July 2022. I think she had like 3 previous albums before that. So she still a very young person, but had a lot of music already released.
Okay, I wasn't aware of how. I thought it was more like she had already be kind of permeated the culture a little bit, and then she went on tour with Taylor. But that I do think you're right that Taylor
I don't think you're wrong in saying that though, because I think Emails I Can't Send
was in the zeitgeist.
Was already in the
a little bit.
zeitgeist, and then it elevated to then Short and Sweet,
Okay.
and now we have whatever the last album is.
Manchild.
Is that the,
Manchild.
What's the name? Isn't the album called
Manchild?
I thought that was
Isn't it not called Man? Oh, you're probably right.
Man's Best Friend.
Oh, okay.
And so, yes, Sabrina Carpenter's featured in this last song of Taylor Swift's album, The Life of a Showgirl. And I think it's really interesting because she's kind of Taylor Swift's protege in a way. And the lyrics themselves, I'd be interested to hear your analysis, but the song ends with applause.
Yes.
And Sabrina and Taylor thanking the audience.
And I think that's from the Eras tour.
Oh, really?
I think it's a snippet from the time on stage at the Eras tour.
And then it's like they're like signing off.
Yes.
And so what I thought was really interesting is this whole thing was packaged that we're going to get this behind the scenes look.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to the album being like, oh my gosh, this is what Taylor Swift's life is behind the scenes. And it feels still pretty glamorous. And then you get to the last song, you're like, wait, have they been on stage this whole time?
It was a show, right?
It was a show.
That's exactly what I think. And I think the whole concept of this song to me, first of all, I really love the duet. Like I love it musically, whatever, sonically. But I also really felt like it's these 2 stars, these 2 showgirls. But before they're the showgirl, they're going to the stage door to hand bouquets to different showgirls they admire. And the showgirls tell them says, thank you for the lovely bouquet. You're sweeter than a peach, but you don't know the life of a showgirl, babe, and you're never ever gonna. Wait, the more you play, the more you pay. You're softer than a kitten, so you don't know the life of a showgirl, babe, and you're never gonna wanna. So there's this idea that to be the showgirl, you have to always be putting on the show, to always sacrifice a bunch, and you can't be soft. You got to be hard. So there's this idea that it's too hard for most people, and it's so hard you don't even want to know about it. So I'm not going to tell you about it. And then
is the idea that Sabrina and Taylor are gifting flowers to this woman who's then advising against them, or are they sharing this with the audience listening?
I think it could be seen as both. I think it's them speaking to the showgirl and then becoming the showgirl, and then maybe the audience is taking the place of them before they were showgirls.
Mm-hmm.
But then my favorite line is, I'm married to the hustle, she says. Which I think if you look at other lines in the album, there's another line, I think it might be the Eldest Daughter song, where she's like, when I said I didn't believe in marriage, that was a lie. But then you have this song where she says, I'm married to the hustle.
Yeah.
I just think there's an interesting contrast there between this idea of domestic bliss versus this is a businesswoman putting on a show.
Yeah, I think it's very smart. It wasn't until I got to that last, literally the last moments of the album where they're thanking the audience goodbye. I was like, oh, I need to re-examine everything that I just listened to.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it too on our other episodes, this question of how authentic is Taylor Swift actually being? She's, kind of the assumptions that at first, it's like she would date people, they'd break up, she'd write an album about her heartbreak about it. Then it's how much is she actually really revealing about herself? And my assumption is she probably was early on was probably giving a lot of herself away, and then kind of built up this armor and being oh, wouldn't that be interesting if I reveal my inner life, but it's actually truly not. You're not actually getting my inside thoughts. You just think that you're getting a perception. You're getting a version of what I am presenting to you of how I am. Oh, I'm dating Travis Kelce. This is what you think it's like. I'm going to present this to you, but
this is what you want it to be like.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to sing it to you because I'm a showgirl.
Yeah.
Which is really freaking dark. And that makes the happy vibes, the woo doo 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 vibes of the album, even better to me. Cause ooh, actually this could be kind of dark, but
yeah.
I'm dancing,
Yeah.
Okay. So should we back it up to the 1st one?
Back it up. I need your
My
Shakespearean knowledge.
insight.
Yeah.
The Fate of Ophelia is the first track. And I will begin, when we pull up the lyrics, by telling you about Ophelia. Ophelia is a character from Shakespeare. Hamlet, specifically. Have you read Hamlet?
No.
Well, Hamlet is this...
You just got like a look in your eyes and be like, oh God, I have to explain.
No, I haven't read Hamlet in a long time, so I might have forgotten some of the details. But basically, Hamlet is a prince in Denmark. His father, the king, has passed away, and his mother has remarried to... Wait a second. Okay, yeah. So, okay, backing up. Let's make this easier. I'm going to start over again. So, Hamlet is the prince of Denmark. His father, the king, has died. He was poisoned by his brother, Claudius. That's not really known. Claudius gets remarried to Hamlet's mother, Gertrude. In the beginning of the play, the ghost of Hamlet's father appears to him and says, basically, avenge me, or something like that. And the whole play is Hamlet being like, should I do it? Should I not do it? To be or not to be? I'm a tortured person. It's about a play about inaction, maybe. And Ophelia is a young woman from a noble family at court, I believe. I'm like so worried I'm going to get it wrong. Yeah, she's a young noblewoman, the daughter of someone who is kind of like a counselor to the king, and also kind of has like a romantic relationship with Hamlet. But basically, her father is like, don't see Hamlet. She keeps doing it, but she's doing it. I'm sorry, I don't remember the details. All right. So, okay, basically what I can remember is that she kind of has like a romantic relationship with Hamlet, but Hamlet's kind of like hot and cold with her. And then Hamlet ends up killing her father on accident, and Ophelia ends up going mad. And then there's a part where it happens off stage, but she passes away. Like she falls into the river and dies, and she was like picking wildflowers. But in terms of literary criticism, people are like, did she commit suicide? So basically the important thing...
the painting comes from, with the woman floating in the water. Okay.
Exactly. And so basically the important thing to know about her, and the thing that I've always remembered, is that she's a woman who's in love with a man who's being driven, who himself is going a little mad, trying to decide if he should kill his uncle or if he should not kill his uncle, and is sort of dismissive of her, and then also causes all this bad stuff to happen in their home. And then she goes a little mad, commits suicide potentially, and dies.
Wow. So then going into the life of Ophelia, what are the lyrics for that, and what was the message that you took away from that song?
The message of the song to me is, I would have ended up like Ophelia. I've dated all these people who have treated me poorly. I was going a little mad. Maybe I would have ended up dead. I mean, I don't think that's exactly what she's saying, but like I could have been this depressed, crazy person, and then I met you, and you saved me from the fate of Ophelia. That's kind of my interpretation.
It's called The Fate of Ophelia, not the... I thought The Life of Ophelia. I got confused.
Oh.
One of I screenshotted this. It's the only one that I screenshotted from the Pop Heads subreddit, but someone said, Taylor clearly, by the way, all negative, very negative reviews of Taylor, at least that I saw on Reddit, but it said, Taylor clearly doesn't understand Ophelia at all. Like, did she even read Hamlet? Ophelia isn't some princess in a tower waiting to be saved. She's literally crushed by the men around her, driven insane, and left to drown. That's the point. There is no rescue. Turning her into some tragic but redeemable love interest is the exact opposite of what the character represents. And then she quotes, save my heart from the fate of Ophelia. Sounds deep until you realize it completely misses the meaning of her story, and Jesus uses her as a gothic wallpaper. It's fake deep, name dropping, and it shows she's more interested in the aesthetic than the actual literature. Very harsh criticism.
That is pretty harsh criticism, because I think that review or that person's perspective is slightly missing.
It's saying
it's not a literal retelling of Ophelia. It's saying my heart and my soul would have felt like Ophelia because I've dated people who've driven me mad, because I'm working in this field where men are using their power struggles have affected my life directly. And that's how I felt on the inside, and so I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like it's not a retelling.
I took a snapshot of that because I was like, oh, they like mentioned Ophelia. But then in hearing the story of Ophelia, we've described what we think, how this whole album is actually a performance and giving you like a fake insight. Like I think it even works and speaks to, I think, a bigger aspect. I would even argue that's more so that like Taylor Swift sees like the show business and like giving away too much of herself could be the thing that drives her mad. So she needs to put up these like protective layers to create some separation with her audience, or else she'll be driven into madness, is kind of how I could see it too.
Oh, I see. So that's interesting.
So like kind of what you're saying, where you're saying with like men, if she just like allowed herself to get, if she allowed herself to be so emotionally invested in all the men she's dated, like she'd be driven mad by that. But I wonder if it's like almost like the Showgirl experience, like she has to create this split.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to, and that's kind of like the hint, deep. That's the hints of these albums is like, oh yeah, I'm giving you these like this authentic representation because my audience demands that I give all of myself. Okay, I'll give you all of myself. But then that last song is like, actually it was still all a performance.
Wait, that's so deep. And also it makes me think like, yes, it's sort of like, okay. Also, people have this perception of me of, I'm not as talented as I say. I like, take what this person said. I've name dropped some literary reference. I don't really understand it. So I'm going to do that intentionally. That's really deep. I really like that interpretation.
Yeah. This opening song, just like music wise, like it pulled me in from like it's like very catchy. So I was not analyzing.
I wasn't expecting it. No, me either.
This first song either. But yeah, I think that's like an interesting takeaway. And I think this also ties into it. This is Taylor Swift returning to her producer, Max Martin, who worked with her. Was it last on 1989? Or did she also work with him on Lover?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they worked together.
So 1989, which is like, they didn't work on Reputation either.
Yeah, Max Martin and Shellback.
On Reputation.
And Jack Antonoff also worked on Reputation as well.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like 1989 and Reputation, and one of the songs on Lover, which never made it as a single, which is A Crime, the Cruel Summer.
Oh,
but
best song.
She like creates like these like, those albums have like these arena rock songs where you like, I can just picture this being performed on stage. Or I'd even say like Midnight's. Like
Midnight's was awesome.
It's awesome, but I don't know. It had vibrato, but it wasn't as like large. I don't know how to describe it. Like Blank Space.
True.
Like they just like loud. Like you need to hear this in a loud auditorium. Whereas like Antihero like was catchy. You could sing along to it, but it wasn't like this huge disruptor in a way. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, she has returned to Max Martin as a producer on this album. So there were a lot of theories, and I think that's a lot of people were maybe disappointed because they expected these big, immediately catchy songs, which I'd say there's some catchy songs on this album. But Max Martin, this is a tangent, but I'm part of a book club, and we did a gay outing where we went and saw Anne Juliet at the same theater that we saw.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh.
And Anne Juliet is a retelling from Juliet's point of view of what happens after the death of her and Romeo. And surprise, she actually didn't die. And it's a jukebox musical full of songs produced by Max Martin.
What?
Yes.
I mean, I knew Anne Juliet was a musical, because funny side note, my parents, I went to New York and I was like, guys, I'm going to get us tickets to see Romeo and Juliet. And they were like, amazing. And they were so excited. And then
they thought it was Anne Juliet.
Yes. And they're like, oh, we're seeing Shakespeare, but no, it's not a musical. And Juliet dies. Oh, that's so lovely. I was like, oh, fuck. But yes,
But you did
continue.
you saw Rachel Zegler on your way to the bathroom.
Yes,
You're like, great job.
What's his name? I
The
did
guy
say
from
great job.
Heartstoppers.
Yeah, I saw them both.
So yeah, and Juliet, this like Shakespeare play. Interesting that Taylor Swift returns to Max Martin, and then the first song.
I mean, it's got to be intentional.
It has to be intentional in some way. I don't understand the meaning of that, but I do think there's something to this presentation of how everything is calculated authenticity.
And it's also kind of an awareness of like, I don't know, how you're perceived. Like,
she's very aware.
Ophelia as a tragic figure. She's accused of, whether she does this or not, of casting herself in the victim role all the time, right? In her public conflicts, and now she's saying, "Oh, that's not me at all." So wow, I don't know. That's interesting. I'm interested. I'm interested.
We talk about like name dropping, like the death of Ophelia, but then the very next song is Elizabeth Taylor, another name drop of a very classic Hollywood starlet, and it's kind of, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this second song.
So, okay, this song, I liked it. I was like, oh, the vibes are continuing, you know what I mean? But I didn't, like, when I keep listening to it, it doesn't really jump out at me, and I don't know if it's just kind of more like I don't know if monotone is the right word.
I wouldn't call it monotone at all.
I love the phrase, "I cry my eyes violet." I think that's very striking.
Elizabeth Taylor has violet eyes.
Does she?
Elizabeth Taylor, it's kind of like what she's known for. She has violet eyes.
Well, you learn something new every day. I didn't know about that.
Let me look up the lyrics really quick.
I'm looking at it. Elizabeth Taylor, "Do you think it's forever?" is the beginning.
And I remember she's like, and it's a very Taylor Swift mannerism of performing the lyrics. She's something, if I can't have you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost, and I interpret it more that she was saying that she was Elizabeth Taylor and she's like yearning after this person. And even though she has she's this Hollywood starlet, they're very critical of her.
Well, she does sing in Endgame. She says, "Be the Burton to my Taylor," which is also an Elizabeth Taylor, reference.
Oh, okay. I think so. She says, "I'd cry my eyes violet." Elizabeth Taylor, "Tell me for real. Do you think it's forever? Been number one, but I never had two, and I can't have fun if I can't have you."
Actually, this is an interesting song.
So I assume she's like trying to like achieving success. She achieves that success. I got maybe like, let's say it's an Oscar. I got one Oscar, but I haven't had two Oscars. So it's kind of like this exhausting chase for success.
Well, I think that maybe been number one, but I've never had two. Do you think that means like I have all the success, but I've never had a partner to share it with? Like I've never had two.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting construction. Like when I heard it, I was like, what does that mean?
And then this plugs into what you were saying, because she says, "I would trade the Cartier for someone to trust."
But then she goes, "Just kidding." So actually, I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I need to come back to this song, because I kind of was like, whatever. I didn't realize that it's her singing to Elizabeth Taylor. Is that how you would?
Oh, I didn't think she was singing to Elizabeth Taylor, because then I thought she's saying she's like Elizabeth Taylor.
Well, I'm looking at it though, the way it's written on. Well, these aren't official lyrics. These are from Genius. I don't know how accurate
I'm on Genius
those are.
Also.
The best site for lyrics. I don't know any other site for lyrics actually, but it says, "I'd cry my eyes violet, comma, Elizabeth Taylor," which to me it sounds like she's singing to Elizabeth Taylor.
Maybe,
but I'm not saying that she's singing to her as herself. Do you know what I mean? Okay, what's interesting about this, if we assume that the singer is singing to Elizabeth Taylor, and Elizabeth Taylor is a person who was married how many times?
A lot of times.
So is this sort of like the proclamation of love that she's received? Like, "I swear I'm going to love you forever."
She was married 8 times.
We don't judge. Also, didn't she help people? Wasn't she kind of like a lavender marriage
she has
person?
The AIDS Foundation.
Well, yes, that's very lovely charity. I mean, doing a lavender marriage for someone is nice too, but I feel like I shouldn't compare it. I shouldn't compare the two.
Historically, she's been very supportive of the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes, definitely. But what I'm trying to say is like, like, I want this love to be forever, but it's not. But the subtext behind that would be like, is this really, can we really believe this song because of the reference? That's, I guess, what I'm getting from it now.
Also, I interpret it like, yes, I'm Taylor Swift. I'm a huge star right now. There were stars before me that behaved in similar way, or that could be perceived to have behaved in similar ways, like Elizabeth Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Something there I thought was
So sure. So we can look at it the one way, she's singing to Elizabeth Taylor, or we'd say, oh, she's comparing herself to Elizabeth Taylor. And in that case, she's looking for someone, for that partner. But then it's still sort of tragic, because if you think about Elizabeth Taylor being married 88 times, did she ever have that partner? Like, the song doesn't seem... Honestly, I had no thoughts about this song. I feel like I had tons of thoughts about Ophelia. I could barely describe who Ophelia was. Could barely give my analysis. And then all of a sudden this song, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many interpretations.
And also with your mention of like the been number one, but I never had two. And I like the idea that you're saying that she hasn't had a partner. But the line before that, she says, you're only as hot as your last hit. Is she talking about romance? Is she talking about her success? Is it both?
This is a more complicated song than I thought.
Maybe, the message of Elizabeth Taylor, the song, is that it has a little more deeper meaning than we realized. And
I think it's a little opaque, because it's sort of like, what is she talking to Elizabeth Taylor? Is she Elizabeth Taylor? Is she comparing herself to Elizabeth Taylor? She's saying that she wants a partner.
The outro is all my white diamonds and lovers are forever. And white diamonds, I'm pretty sure, is the Elizabeth Taylor perfume that was really popular. And then she says, do you think it's forever? In the papers, on the screen, and into their minds. All my white diamonds and lovers are forever, but don't you ever end up anything but mine.
Okay, whoa. That ending, I missed the outro completely. To me, this says all of this stuff, like love, I guess white diamonds could evoke marriage, I don't know. It's forever. In the papers, on the screen, and in their minds. Whose minds?
The audience, I think.
Don't you ever end up anything but mine? That makes the last line seem like a joke. She's like, oh, it's all forever in these like outer externalized things, like in the media, on the screen, whatever, and in people's minds.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like a personal connection. Oh, this song is kind of dark. What the heck? I didn't even like...
Because that then ties back into the Cartier line, and then she's like, just kidding. Like, that's kind of like for us listening, like, oh, she's joking. She doesn't mean that.
She doesn't mean that, but
this whole thing
is a sham. Whoa, Taylor!
Like, without even like really thinking about the lyrics, I really enjoyed this song.
I mean, when I heard it as song number 2, my mind was like, "Ooh, yes, I'm liking this, I'm enjoying this." But then when I listened to it again a couple times this morning, I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna skip this one. Like, I just didn't feel compelled to listen.
I feel like I could skip the first 3 because I like them so much.
Oh.
And Opalite was my anti. That was my anti-hero. I was like, what is going on? This is so
it makes me want to dance. Yeah, I'm like, really time to dance. It makes me feel the way Mamma Mia makes me feel.
That's high praise.
It is.
Well, is that a good segue? Let's go to Opalite.
Let's go. First of all, this song, like I said, it's time to dance. Like, it's so addicting to listen to.
Yeah, it's definitely like, out of all the songs, I feel like it's like the easiest for me to want to play.
It's so fun, but I also think it has like a really good message. I'm sure we'll look at this and I'll suddenly realize it's dark and disturbing, but I thought it had like a really good message. I kind of took away from it the idea that, because this is the song that has the line like, life is a song, right? Like, it just, what's the line about the song? Yeah, life is a song, it ends when it ends, which to me is another way of saying like, it's not over until it's over, and you will find happiness but the hard time, and like maybe even because of the hard times. And Opalite is a man-made opal, which I think speaks to that you have to make your own sparkle in this life.
Do you think that the first 2 songs of the album are like really like laying on the hints that this is all a performance, and then like song 3 is like, okay, now that I've now that you kind of know this is actually still a performance, let's have fun. Let's listen to Opalite. And now you're kind of back into the Taylor Swift persona.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's like the status quo, you know, if I'm thinking like a screenplay structure or something like that, if it's kind of like, here's the status quo or like, welcome to the world. And then it's like, all right, we're kicking it off.
And the fact that like we were talking about how on different variants, there's one version where the song titles are designed in a way to look like the Taylor Swift Era Tour stage is like, in a way you can kind of see it as like every song where like like at the end of the stage, you're like the closest to the audience, which is not necessarily true because the audience is all around her in that stage setup. But it's like, it's like she's
moving through different, and that's why the show was constructed. You move through different eras.
Yeah.
Okay. There's just, in the very first episode we ever did, I was like, I never want to include any like speculation with other celebrities because it's wrong or whatever.
Which I say that's no fun, but
for queer Taylor Swift theories. But I'm actually going to point out that I thought this line was really interesting. Verse 2, you couldn't understand it while you felt alone. You were in it for real. She was in her phone and you were just a pose. To me, that definitely seems like a reference to a model who maybe at one time was connected to Taylor Swift. Does it not read that way?
Yeah.
Oh, Genius, however, disagrees. Genius thinks this line is likely about Kayla Nicole, an influencer and former girlfriend of Travis Kelce. During the relationship, there have been claims of Kayla abusing the relationship for her own gain of social media popularity. But yeah, I just think this is a good life is a song. And then even that line, life is a song. I'm creating songs about my life for show.
What does it mean when she says, I thought my house was haunted? I used to live with ghosts.
I don't know. She has a lot of references to ghosts and hauntings. And if you remember in the Anti-Hero music video, she's being chased by sheet ghosts in her house.
Oh, yes. I could make out those lyrics on first listen. I was like, these lyrics are kind of sad, but I was like, but this music is telling me otherwise.
But yeah, I guess it's just her way of saying like, yeah, I was sad. I was a sad girl. And now it's the sky is Opalite.
Yeah.
But okay, so even if like you make your own happiness in this life, which I think is a great message, the idea that just because you've worked hard and found love or whatever, that you're going to be ridiculously Mamma Mia level happy is not realistic, right? Like once haunted, always haunted. Your demons don't just go away. So there's kind of like almost a false positivity to the song of like.
And so I just found this from Glamour. It says, speaking about the Opalite lyrics, Taylor Swift said, when we go through something that doesn't work out, we often look at it as this major setback, like we're taking a step back. But I found that so many of those instances in my life can catapult you forward in growth, in wisdom, and perspective. Mm-hmm. She continued, and so on Opalite is a song about forgiving yourself for having gone through something that didn't pan out the way you wanted to. It's giving yourself permission to not have it all figured out or not marry the first person you ever dated, stuff like that. I'm just happy that the song exists, and that chorus, I'm just stoked about how like absolutely infectious and borderline narcotic it is.
Oh my gosh. It is narcotic, first of all, because I love to listen to it. But second of all, I completely agree with what she's saying. I think that's a beautiful message of resilience. But the fact that she ended that quote with the word narcotic suggests to me exactly what I was just saying. That can be true, that mistakes and hard times breeds resilience and leads to greener pastures. But your life isn't perfect after that, right? You're still going to have darkness, demons, sadness. And so the song is like a drug telling you, don't worry about all the other stuff. It's going to be fine. We're going to dance to Opalite. Like, wow, you found the perfect quote to make me further convinced I'm right.
Oh, that's a really interesting reading. Is Father Figure next?
I think so. What do you know about the original? I feel like you're going to know more than me.
It's so weird. So I took a flight to Seattle a few weeks ago, and I just felt compelled to start listening to George Michael's album Faith, which has the song Father Figure, which Taylor Swift interpolates on this album.
With permission.
With
from
permission, yeah.
George Michael's estate.
I thought it was really interesting. I took it as it's written, it seems to be from a male perspective, and he finds someone that reminds him of a younger version of himself. He takes this person under their wing, is helping them, supporting them, and something happens where that person kind of abused the help they were giving them and then takes everything away from that person, is kind of what the textual understanding I have of the song.
So I quickly read the lyrics the other day, so correct me if this is like an incorrect reading. It seemed like it had either homoerotic undertone or like it was like a queer relationship.
I'm
just saying also
yeah.
The youth. I'm talking about George Michael's song, right? Yeah.
Oh,
what are you talking
we're talking about the original. Sorry, I was talking about the new song.
Oh, okay. Well, I have my thoughts on that. The original seems a little bit like about a queer relationship, but then also with the youth element,
it's a little uncomfortable. Yeah,
there's a little dark. It's dark.
Yeah, George Michael at that time, I think he was in the closet, and or he had just come out as like bisexual, and then later on, I think would come out as gay. But as you say that, I'm going to quickly Google to make sure that I
think that's true. I think he was out by the time he died.
So what's your interpretation of the song?
Speculation is what it is. I think it's interesting to so publicly choose that song and also do it with permission, and for that to be I think that's interesting backstory to what's going on here. And I agree with your interpretation of the song that it's about, and I guess you could put it in terms of the music industry, but like someone with power, a man with power, bringing someone young with power under their wing, the person in power not treating the person underneath them very well, but then having the rug pulled out from underneath them because the younger person was already planning, was in time prepared to turn the tables on them because they're more capable than they seemed.
Yes. Which kind of maybe like, for me, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like the biggest protege, like Sabrina Carpenter is Taylor Swift's protege. So and I knew she was featured on this album. I knew their history together. So then a really dark side of me was like, I couldn't help but think of if like Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter, like part of my mind just kind of wandered and be like, oh, like what if Taylor Swift is kind of like, it's like the threat of like, okay, I was the showgirl before you. I'm lifting you up. Don't fuck with me. I don't think that's necessarily,
that's
I don't think that was the intention, but my mind just like immediately thought of like, oh, wouldn't that be really interesting if this is Taylor Swift singing this to Sabrina Carpenter, and then
that's so dark. Taylor
Swift still decides to feature Sabrina Carpenter at the end of the album. I don't know.
So I think there's something to that, and I think it would obviously be exaggerated, but I think that would be maybe her acknowledging that with a lot of power, you become, you might not be the greatest person all the time. So maybe there's some truth to that. But I kind of thought of it more, I have two interpretations if you're going to base it on her life. Like one, the master situation, where someone above her as a mentor who she trusted pulled the rug out from under her, and then he thought that he had won, and she was like, oh, really? Like, let me show you what I'm going to do to get all this back. And not only is it going to work, but also it's going to make me the most popular person, and I'm that powerful. So I could see it through that lens. But then also with the whole like queer element, maybe this is just fantastical thinking, but I think it's an interesting, like if she were to be a queer person and at one point in time, like as an artist was told to be closeted or whatever, and trust me, I'm the father figure. But then if she were to like come out or something like that, it'd be like her turning the tables on that too. You know,
I mean,
in a fantasy
I don't know
world.
To say. We're saying how we don't ever see the real
Taylor.
We only see the presentation she puts on.
It's fun to analyze.
I really like your Scooter Braun analogy. I really plug into that. And I do think there's something about the fact that she calls the song Father Figure and gets approval from George Michael's estate. And
like, why do that?
And then George Michael's estate
Says
was
yes.
posting all over, but there was positive press from them being like, George Michael's estate is so happy that Taylor Swift has asked for permission
us to do this.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't feel like I see someone's estate thanking the other person. And George Michael, who is he did come out not only as bisexual, he came out as gay in 1998 to pull from an estate from like someone who is such a significant gay
figure
musician
in music. Yes.
In music.
Yes. I think it's weird. unless it's not weird and this is what's going to happen. And then I'll also point out there's another line in The Life of a Showgirl to really get into my conspiracy theory territory. The beginning of that song.
And please listen to our episode on Taylor Swift if you haven't yet.
Please remember that was our third episode. So I didn't have headphones. I was basically shouting and I was speaking 100 miles per minute. So just keep that in mind. But okay, she says, so this is the pre-chorus sung by Taylor Swift. I waited by the stage door, packed in with the autograph hounds, bargaining her name, then glowing like the end of a cigarette. Wow. She came out. I said, you're living my dream. And then it goes into the chorus.
What song is this?
The Life of a Showgirl, the last one. I don't know. I just think the showgirl came out from behind the stage, the back door, but also interesting phrasing followed by you're living my dream. To come out of the closet. Maybe. Just saying. But I actually really liked Father Figure. I don't know why. There's something about, maybe it's the interpolation because the music is already strong, but I was
really catchy.
And the way she says brown liquor, I don't know why I really like that. I'm like, oh.
Also, I was going to text you, but I didn't. But one of the concerns Allison messaged me about, she's like, I've been reading the lyrics, and I think there might be a lyric where Taylor Swift, she says she's been dickmatized.
Okay, so apparently I was wrong, but
I was like, oh, here's the dick song.
But you were wrong, right? Because that one's still coming.
Wait, does she say dickmatized somewhere else?
I'll show you. She doesn't. It's like kind of like bleeped out.
Oh.
I didn't really mind the use of it here.
So let's say it's about Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
And she's like, you mistreat me. I'm going to pull the rug under you and become bigger than I've ever become. But then she that line of saying my dick's bigger than the devil. I think that's
why some people are like, oh, the lyrics are a little cringy.
And ignoring any cringe element, I literally mean why it's called Father Figure. So obvious. And then I think it's a powerful metaphor for a woman to use phallic imagery to express her own power.
Agreed.
But then bring the devil into it.
It's interesting because within the context of the master situation, it doesn't seem like she had to do anything quote unquote evil to accomplish that, right? But I don't know. Yeah, there's something about that line that is especially evocative and scary. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes me think of The Witch a little bit. The movie. Mm-hmm. The whole movie's about a young woman living in an isolated, exiled family who believes the devil is in their daughter. And at the end, you find out the devil has been speaking to the daughter and she chooses to embrace the darkness, but it's very empowering.
We're going to dip into that really quick. Also, witchcraft, anytime women, there was a way to silence women is to kill them on terms of witchcraft was something you couldn't really prove.
The Crucible.
Yeah. Interesting.
Just
make of that what you will.
Yep. We're just going to toss out little thoughts. Yeah. We'll be over there dancing to Opalite. And then you can go back to the beginning and listen to me explain Ophelia and be like, does this woman know what she's talking about? The sheer panic. I was like, how to summarize Hamlet.
What's
okay.
next?
Eldest daughter.
I love this song.
Okay, so this is going to be another situation where I bet I'm going to come around to, we're going to talk about it, I'm going to love it. But there was something about it.
I didn't like it on first listen. Now it's maybe it might be Opalite, and then Eldest Daughter might be my second favorite. I feel like
for some reason it just doesn't stick in my head. But one thing I thought was cool, and I saw this as taking from people's interpretations online. So people are pointing to this one as having the worst lyrics. But I think, based on what other people said or saying, kind of in reaction to this, that she's using a lot of like internet speak.
Yes.
And she specifically says, I've always tried to be too cool. It doesn't work for me. And so it's like almost, it was intentional, right? To make that she's using kind of embarrassing lyrics to prove her point.
I love this song.
But this song really, even, I'm sure there's like a deeper, darker meaning as we've been discovering, but I even just found it to be kind of nice. Like, I liked the bridge of like, we lie back, a beautiful, beautiful time lapse, Ferris wheels, kisses, and lilacs, and things I said were dumb because I thought that I'd never find that. Beautiful, beautiful life that shimmers that innocent light back like when we were young. I think that's nice. Like, we're all so cynical, our internet speaky ways, but deep down inside, we're all children who just want love, right?
I hope. So is this still playing into the persona that she's presented, or our theory that this is all a performance and she's not really giving real insight into who she is?
I think there's something to what you were saying that if the tracks were, I'll have to look that image up.
Set as a stage.
Yeah, so maybe the first three are tied together in some way. I don't know. I think father figure, though, is like a turning point because it's like if we're going to look at it like this way, maybe this is like post-Masters reclamation. So then is eldest daughter like the Showgirl's version of a Taylor Swift song? I actually think there's something to that because Ruin the Friendship, the next one I also think is like a Taylor, like
it's
these
very,
are
very Taylor
sweet,
Swift.
very sweet storytelling.
And like Fearless era type songwriting.
Yes.
I sent you a picture of, so I don't think there's not actually a variant where the songs are organized in that way, but someone wrote, if you line up all of the track lists in order, it forms the shape of the Eras Tour stage.
Oh my gosh. People, look at that. That's really interesting. Yeah, I think there's something to that. Because, yeah, I don't really see, I'd have to, except for the internet, there's like a double meaning there, but I'm not really seeing a darker meaning to this song. I don't know if you are at all.
I don't think so, but doesn't that tie into like kind of with that criticism that that Reddit quote that I read about Ophelia at the very beginning? It's like Taylor's referencing Shakespeare, but then filtering it through her experience to how she's not going to end up like Ophelia is kind of our interpretation of it. She's going to find happiness. Could you apply that to this song also, where it's like she's pulling from the old-timey thought of like the responsibility of the eldest daughter and the requirement, I don't know, for the eldest daughter has to be married before any of the younger daughters could get married, like that rule. And then it's like, but if I don't end up getting, what is the lyric in this song if I don't end up?
So I don't think it actually, I think it's just that every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter. So we all dressed up as wolves and we looked fire.
Yeah,
so
what does that mean?
To me, I interpret that as like the oldest girl, her innocence is slaughtered first. Like she learns very quickly, like, okay, we have the storybook romance fantasy from Disney or whatever, wherever you got your romantic fantasies from. And then you quickly realize that out in the real world, that's not what love and heteronormative love is like at all. And, or at least a lot of the time it's not like that. And so we all dressed up as wolves, as in we all put on this costume of being tough, of being independent, of not needing men. And we looked fire. We looked great. We looked ready for anything. But deep down inside, that's not who she really is. She's that innocent person who was led to slaughter, who does want fairy tale romance. So I guess,
is that the lyrics? Is that this song where she's like, I said I never wanted love,
yes,
but that wasn't true?
I never wanted marriage. This is the one. I never wanted marriage, but that was a lie.
So okay, not until she was able to find a partner that she actually like loved, she was putting on this mask that she's like, actually, I don't want any of this because, you know, they used to send us off to get married and it's all a scam. And, you know, I'm going to put on this act. And then she's like, oh wait, I actually found someone that I actually do love. And saying that I didn't want to get married was because I was afraid that I would never achieve that.
Yes.
Something to that effect, or find it. But then I found you.
Yeah.
These are the things that I want. But then why bring in the internet commentary? Like why bring in the thoughts that other people have of her?
I think it has to do with, well, a couple things. Like that's part of the mask of like apathy of like, oh, I use internet speak. I'm I see everything as ironic. I'm really jaded. I'm really in touch.
And the internet's a really mean space.
Yes.
That people then becomes part of your life that you kind of almost become jaded in your own true life outside the internet, maybe.
Exactly. But I suppose in the opposite way of the beginning songs, which are darker than they seem, I think that this song is very pure, minus the internet speak. And that makes me think it's almost like repackaging the fantasy, right, of like romance and saying it is real, you know? Like maybe your heart was broken all this time. You didn't think marriage or love would ever happen, but it happened for me, so it'll happen for you.
Is the real Taylor coming out here, or is it packaged? Yes, but it's maybe true to how she feels.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I hope for her of course I would love for everyone to find out that love is real, but I guess I mean that she's being the showgirl, and the showgirl is giving us the fantasy, is saying, here's the fantasy for your consumption, you know, like this is the part of the album where I'm being the fearless me. I'm being the one who tells you about love in a reassuring way.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Ruin the Friendship, which I love in the same, but I have so many thoughts about this song.
So do
okay.
I.
All right. You would you like to say first, or would you like me to go first?
This idea that she has like a friend and she wants to kiss them, but it would be inconvenient to do so. She uses the word inconvenient because
they're friends. It would ruin the friendship.
It would ruin the friendship. Story-wise, she moves away. She gets a call from her friend that this person that she wanted to kiss in her childhood has since died.
Yes.
She flies back and kind of just is mournful, and then thinking back and like, if only I kissed this person. It's full of regret.
And she says, she says to the audience, my advice would be to ruin the friendship. You know, it's better to do that than to always wonder and to lose the chance.
Yeah.
So, which I think it's like high school setting, storytelling,
which I think
Taylor Swift.
The packaging of the previous song. We're now
I agree.
We're in the fearless era.
But what I found so interesting about this song was it's classic Taylor Swift, but so much darker. Like when we get to the part, she's like, I got the call from Abigail. I'm like, surely this person didn't die. And she's like, and then I'm standing at the grave. I was like, oh my gosh. And part of me feels almost like gross in a way, or like, oh, I shouldn't be listening to this. It's like too, I don't know. Like it was very discordant because I was thinking, oh, this is a cute relationship song about like you belong with me, da 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 da, kind of a thing. And then I was like, oh no, it is.
But
not.
Is it interesting, like the you belong with me of someone in their mid-30s, where it's like we're at that age now where
people die?
Well, not like,
I don't think we're at that age. Are we?
Okay, I guess that was a bad example. Okay, but what cracks me up about this song is she has the line, the way that the structure of the songs are, I don't know if it was intentional, but she has that line that she repeats and it was inconvenient.
And it was not an invitation, should have kissed you anyway, and it was not convenient, no, but your girlfriend was away, should have kissed you anyway.
And so it cracks me up because, not in a dark way, but like she gets a call from her friend that this guy has died. And then she's like, I flew back without permission and it wasn't convenient. And I was like, it's just the way that but the way that it's like lined up, it's like, it's funny because like, are you saying that because they died, you had to take a flight out there and it was kind of inconvenient that you had to travel? It's just the way that the layout was.
I mean, perhaps
maybe
it was intentional. Yeah. But yeah, I just felt like there was a nasty surprise in this song that made it uncomfortable. But I still like this one.
But just kind of felt like those, like, I don't know, kind of like took me back to those mopey songs where it's kind of like you think it's going one way, it's all like romantic and mischance, and then something like really dark happens.
But I don't feel like she does that. I feel like her dark songs are dark and her happy songs are happy. Like I'm trying to think of an example of a song, like, okay, in Betty, which is a very similar song in a way. It also has like a high school dance part. The end, the two teenagers kiss on the porch, right? Mm-hmm. But the ending to this song is one of them dies. I'm like, I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming either.
Was the setup? It was a twist, a Shyamalanian twist, if you will.
Is there any other kind?
No, there are not. Actually, there are, but I just feel like it's discordant, and I like it because of that.
What's the Death by a Thousand Cuts song about?
Death by a Thousand Cuts is about, it's a great song. It's a kind of looking back on a failed relationship and describing it as death by a thousand cuts, and how she looks into the house that, well, I mean, metaphorically, we've boarded up all the windows of our relationship, but I can still see lights flickering on in there. It's Death by a Thousand Cuts. Really good song. And I can't, every part of myself, my body, my soul, you've touched, and I can't get you out of me.
But so is there something about the Taylor Swift lyricism where she has so many songs where like it's the death of something, but like someone doesn't like literally die?
I mean, sure. I think.
And now, but now we're listening to a song. Now we're listening to an album that she's presented as this real, authentic. Every story is really seen behind the scenes. But then, as you and I have been hypothesizing, it's not real. It's not all as it seems.
Yeah.
So then, like hearing like the death thing, like it's kind of like you're kind of like encroaching on it, but this all isn't real anyway. It's still the Showgirl performing songs for you. I feel like there's like I've heard songs. I cannot think of a single song that comes to mind, but I feel like I've heard ones where like someone like dies within the song.
No, I
to reframe how you feel about the song. I don't know.
I mean, for Taylor though, I'm just saying I can't think of a Taylor song where I did not, where the tone, except for The Last Great American Dynasty, where the twist to that song is she reveals that she's singing about this house, this person who lived in this fancy house, and in the end you realize she bought the house. That was kind of a surprise in a song. I always feel like I know. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. Someone will probably point out some song. It just felt like she was telling one of her cute high school songs, and then
has a shocking.
And then it was like, actually, this is not a cute high school song. This is a tragedy. That's what I'm saying. And as a result, I kind of like it.
What comes after Ruin a Friendship?
Actually, Romantic.
See,
the gayest song on the album, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
Have you seen the theories?
That's about Charli. I don't really understand. First of all, I don't know. Sympathy is a knife. I've heard that song a bunch of times. I went and read the lyrics. Why do people think it's about Taylor? And why do people think this song's about Charli XCX? It doesn't make any sense. Why can't they just live their lives? Why are we inventing this beef?
Okay, but to go into it further, though, is there a chance, like, Charli XCX is also a showgirl? Like,
yeah, well, definitely.
They're all showgirls. This is all a show.
Absolutely.
Taylor Swift.
Excellent point.
Taylor Swift benefits from Charli XCX writing a song that people assume is about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, by default, also benefits from then doing a response to the Charli XCX song, but through like hidden codes. Like, I think it's all.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. So I think
quid pro quo.
Yeah. So whether it actually is about her or not, I think she is kind of being elusive because it could be, maybe not. But I think she benefits from, I think Charli XCX benefits it. And I don't think anything that we're seeing from the outside, we're not seeing the real dynamic.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I agree. But I do think this song's kind of gay.
I think so too.
And I like it.
She's fixated.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's
like Mean Girls. It's like Mean.
It's mean. It's a Mean Girl song. Because
do you know it was released on Mean Girls Day?
No way. I guess
October 3rd.
I guess I did see Lindsay Lohan posted a meme of
I saw that
the Life
too.
of Showgirl thing with her face.
I saw that too.
Yeah, just kind of this like, yeah, kind of like it is like the why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah, why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah.
Exactly. But also I just think it's kind of fun. I think it's funny.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the vein of like, we are never ever getting back together. Like that kind of, which Max Martin had a role in that song too. So it's kind of like this.
This is his specialty.
I
also saw a couple TikToks that used this song and paired it with like people that Trump hates. So they did one with Gavin Newsom. And then they like cut it with images of every time he's like interacted with Gavin Newsom. And he's like, it was really funny, I have to say. So I think this song is going to have
it's
a great...
amazing for the memes alone that come from it.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think it's that deep. I don't think we need to
No.
discuss in great detail.
Wish list?
Okay, to be honest, I want to say that I hated this song mostly because I just find when people just sing about wealth like that, I find that distasteful. And then also the idea, but I guess this is the whole point of the album, but the idea that Taylor Swift, who has put out how many albums in the last 4 years, just wants a basketball hoop in her front. Like, that's all she wants in life. I'm like, this song is annoying to me. Like, this is just such a blatant lie.
Okay.
Like, it just annoyed me. But then it was, I didn't think I liked it lyric or sonically either. But then I keep saying the line of like, have the whole street looking like you. So it is kind of catchy. Fine.
Okay. The Eurythmics song, I've tried everything.
Oh.
And the beginning of Wish List sound very, very similar.
Oh, okay.
The lyrics to I've tried everything is the truth of life is the greatest gift, but I don't think I can make it fit. And who would guess it would come to this when I've tried everything? And I just think, I don't know why, maybe this is a real big stretch, but I don't want to leave Wish List on the floor without that. But I just think there's something interesting about how Taylor Swift is basically saying that she wants to become this suburban house mom with a basketball hoop at the end of the street. And it's like, but I think, isn't there a chance that again, she's just selling us the idea of what she thinks. And she set up, we just talked about how the last two songs were like the fearless era Taylor Swift, where she's the house across looking at the guy that she like really wants.
Yeah.
What's that song called? You Belong With Me.
Yeah.
And so this idea, like you like live it. This is we're now in like this, we're walking on the stage of the Eras tour and we're now in the fearless section of the stage. She's presenting you with all these ideas of what that high school version of Taylor Swift, who you think she'd end up with. And that person would dream of just being at home, being a house mom, kind of thing. So
you're right.
So I kind of, and then the I've tried everything though is like, the truth of life is the greatest gift, but I don't think I can make it fit. Like there's all these things of what we want, all these ideas of how we want. Like Taylor Swift wants to be a showgirl. She wants to be a mom. She wants to be this married person. And so I just wonder if Wish List is another presentation of the idea of what she thinks that people want her to be.
I like that. I think that's probably accurate.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely didn't, I think this one is interesting because it annoyed me so much because it felt so false based on who she seems to actually be in real life, which is like a striver who cares about her career more than she cares about domestic bliss. But I think you're right.
It reminds me of like the Down Bad Crying at the Gym song. You know, it's kind of...
Love that song. Down bad crying at the gym. Everything comes out teenage petulance.
The suburban mom going to the gym to work out. Sad about it.
I never really thought about it like that. It's just
like an ordinary, someone at a gym crying. I thought it feels so ordinary to me. Yeah.
I guess that's right.
I will say, yeah, but this was what Wish List was, the one where I like, as soon as I heard the hoops lyric, I was like, I really have the urge to skip this song. But then like on revisiting it, I kind of
it's getting stuck in my head for sure. So, and I also just like some of the parts that annoyed me too was like, okay, the first one was like, oh, those people want wealth and I don't care about that. That part I was like, okay. But then later on, she describes someone that also wants a family, but also wants wealth. And she's like, I don't care about that. I just want the family. And I was like, I'm confused. Like, don't these people kind of want the same thing? Because if you have a house with a basketball hoop, you're probably doing okay.
You need some money to buy the basketball hoop.
Yeah. So then I got confused. I'm like, what's going on here? I don't understand this song. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to be moving on to a song that's a little awkward.
What is it?
Wood.
Oh. Honestly, it's catchy.
Very catchy.
Upbeat. Is it about boners? What is it about?
I mean,
is this the Dickmatized song?
Yeah, the line that I thought was that I saw a spoiler that someone had seen the lyric book and said that that's what it said. It's actually Forgive me, it sounds cocky. He matized me and opened my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened. I don't want to read this on air.
Oh my God. I did not. These lyrics I did not pay attention to. I was like, oh, this song's catchy. I did not catch this.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't. But I also think that there's something about this where it's like people are like, oh, people are, I don't know. That she's like, oh, you want to hear about my relationship? I'm going to be like really vulgar. That's kind of what like, oh, you're so obsessed with hearing the details of my private life. Here, I'm going to scandalize you.
She also brings up bouquet here, and she brings up bouquets in the life of a showgirl. And one represents marriage and one represents praise.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, she's not someone I think of when I think like good at writing double entendres. Right? Like, that's not something
she's aware of her awkwardness, as there was a Target ad for this album, and it's like her directing herself who can't pose correctly. So I think she's very aware.
So maybe that's why she's doing it like this, like really in your face, embarrassing to everyone.
Yeah.
But catchy. Moving on to Canceled.
I did not like this song. Maybe I'll come to like it more as we discussed it. Talk about the packaging, the way it's like canceled exclamation point. But then the song felt so like quiet to me.
I think it sounds spooky, and I love a spooky thing. So I was kind of into it. I liked the idea, the concept of the song of, you know, I'm going to be kind of associated with people who have a dark side where we have matching scars. I kind of think that's like cool and spooky, but I don't love it in the context of her kind of being in this public NFL relationship where she's encountering a lot of MAGA people. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah. And their whole thing is like, everyone has to worry about getting canceled.
And so like, it's like, oh, being canceled is fine. Like, I don't think that she's actually singing about that, but the fact that she's been kind of publicly seen with people like that and then has this song on there kind of gives them cover. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't love that.
But what immediately jumped out to me is I just thought of Blake Lively was the first thing. And
I didn't even think about that.
Justin Baldoni thing. Wow, she's caught up in a lot of
scandals. But then it seems like she's kind of mad at Blake Lively. But who really knows?
Well, why was she even involved? Like, she shouldn't have even.
She was subpoenaed, or she was supposed to be subpoenaed because of some text messages or something that she sent. But I think she got out of it. It wasn't on her. It was on the lawyers. But yeah, I did like the song.
I'll have to revisit it on future listens.
I just think it was like kind of creepy, and the idea of people doing bad things and then finding one another in the bad. Sure, it's not great for our moment, our current political moment where we should be trying to do good, but I like it in theory. I like it thematically.
Well, because there's the lyric of like, welcome to my underworld.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so meaning that she's been canceled.
Yeah.
And now it's like all these people are joining her in this canceled space. That's why I don't feel it's so evil, I guess, is because I just was surprised because I thought the whole song was going to just be about her being canceled. But then she's like pulling all these other people in with her. I'm like, oh, I'd be kind of curious to hear what your thoughts are just solo of being canceled. Like, it was like, she's like,
I see.
I don't think, like, I'm already here and all these people are coming. It was kind of more about all these other people are joining me and we have matching scars, but I would have been interested to hear the difficulty of feeling like you get canceled wrongfully or something like that.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess, and then going back to this like showgirl idea, maybe me not liking the way this song gives cover to some of the people kind of in her orbit. Maybe that's kind of part of the point, is that in reality, because she is pretty, has shown, like, she endorsed Kamala and all of that. So like, we know where she stands politically, but so maybe this canceled version, this like showgirl version is like, oh, all of this is fine. I like my friends canceled, but like, that's not her reality. I don't know. I can't make this one fit as well with the theme.
Do we know where she stands politically?
Politically?
No.
I mean, she endorsed Kamala, so I mean, that wasn't It's only been, I hate to tell you, it's only been, hasn't
not
even been a year. Sadly. So I don't think a lot has changed, but I doubt.
But what is this? Because there were like photos of her.
Yeah.
And Travis, like you're in the like NFL world, like you can't avoid that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then I think recently there has been criticism because like Beyonce and her husband showed up at a conservative convention or something like that. Like there's,
I didn't know that.
But to be amongst the wealthy, it's kind of like, even if you don't ally with them politically, like you can't avoid that.
It's hard to say. Not being in the situation myself, I can't speak to it.
We can't really speak to that.
No. I also, like, separate from any Taylor theorizing, I like this kind of as a queer anthem, right? Like, if sexuality were in the time when it was more taboo, then I kind of like the idea of like queer people finding each other. Like, I like my friends canceled. We have magic scars. We're in the underworld.
Oh my gosh.
So when I listen to it, I'm thinking of it like that, not even related to what I think about Taylor Swift.
Okay. Which now we're kind of like we're down the rabbit hole of this album of like, it's kind of going whichever way. Why have canceled at this point in the album? And why structure these songs in these particular ways?
Well, cancel is making me think of reputation. Like this might be the if we've identified the fearless part of this album for sure.
Yeah.
I think canceled is part of the reputation section, and Honey maybe as well. I don't know I have to think about the rest.
Also, this thing that I sent you says oldest daughter, but it isn't the song called Eldest Daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because we had the fearless section really stood out to me, but like Eldest Daughter kind of has like that like woodsy vibe of maybe Evermore or folklore. So I wonder if you could almost divide all these songs into, because the beginning of this album kind of reminds me of Midnight's or Lover. Like I think there is something to
it's like she's parodying herself almost.
Yeah.
Is she really a genius? Like,
is she a genius?
And then everyone's out there slamming the album. No one's appreciating what's really going on. That makes me sad.
You have to sit with it. You can't, everyone wants to be the first. That's the problem too, is everyone wants to be the first to give their reaction to it. But I feel like music that's wrong to design music that way. It's meant, like I was saying, like I listen to a Taylor Swift album, I think that I don't like it. I listen to the next day, I'm like, actually, these songs are really catchy. I can't rid myself of them. Like you need time to digest these songs. And so everyone wants to be on the internet, which speaks to the fucking, is Eldest Star the one about the internet? Yeah, it's like everyone wants to be the first to share their opinion, and totally like ties back into the irony of it to slam this album. But it's like, well, you haven't taken the time to really digest it, so you can't really share your thoughts yet. And then everyone wants to stick to their opinion because they're afraid to change because nothing's worse than for a person to change their mind later on. Like, and so it's so true. It's interesting how it's
self-propels in a cyclical way. But I feel like we just had some, like, that was like a revelation. Yeah.
This is exciting.
So we're amazing and everyone else is dumb. I'm just kidding. I'm like Taylor Swift talking about Cartier. Just kidding.
We're on to Honey,
which is our last one because we already did Life of a Showgirl.
Yeah.
Honey Honey a sweet song.
Honey's the bar in LA. Perhaps she was.
Oh my gosh.
Influenced.
Referencing Honeys. Maybe.
When I hear the name Honey, I don't like, nothing stands out about the song, but I remember I re-listened to it today. I was like, oh, I actually really like this song.
I think it's really sweet. It's a little I'm sure because it's repetitive, I'll end up liking it a lot, but the chorus is repeated so many times that I was bored of it the first time I listened to it, but
horrified?
No, bored. Because it's like, I already heard this, but I know later on I'll like that because of the earworm element.
If anyone called me honey, so it's the whole idea how people would say it sarcastically to her
or demeaning,
but then she finds a partner who calls her honey and she finds it genuine and actually appreciates it.
Well,
is how I interpreted it.
Yeah. I mean, she says, you can call me honey if you want because I'm the one you want. I'm the one you want. You give it different meaning because you mean it when you talk. Sweetie, it's yours. Kicking in doors. Take it to the floor. Give me more.
Oh, no.
Buy the paint. What? Buy the paint in the color of your eyes, and graffiti my whole damn life, honey? That's what it says?
So is that meaning someone like stomped in and then covered themselves all over her and suffocated her that she feels she can't escape it? Is that to graffiti my whole life seems like a really violent thing to do.
I thought this was really sweet, and then I read this and I don't think it's sweet at all. Yeah, I think it's saying you can do it. I thought it was because like you're not like the rest, you really love me, but now I'm thinking it's you kicked down doors, you took me to the floor. But then also buy the paint in the color of your eyes. So that means the way your eyes being the person that's looking at her, that sees her, that is defining her, and graffiti my whole damn life, honey. That's creepy.
But doesn't that tie into...
That's controlling.
And doesn't that tie... I mean, to the perceived relationship that we have of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's, the criticism is he comes into her life, turns her into this NFL doll on the sidelines watching the game.
But also, couldn't it be an indictment of fans? Like, you can... It's like she's in a romantic relationship with her fans, and like the idea being like I give you content, you see me, and then paint me in the color of your eyes. You paint my life based on how you see me.
I think so. I like that.
Freaky. I would never, again, if we hadn't done this, I probably would never have even listened to that song or thought about that deeply, but just reading those lyrics out loud, that was deeply disturbing.
Because there is... in a lot of these songs, we've talked about it, where there's this mismatch of the lyrics being sung and then the energy it's giving off. Like Honey's very kind of like slower pace, kind of like simplistic beat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what she's singing about is really intense. Is this? I like how you put. I mean, I thought of Travis Kelce, but I like your interpretation more of this parasocial relationship that she has with her fans.
And yeah, like paint me in the color of your eyes, or graffiti my whole. I don't know. That's really
violent,
deeply disturbing. Wow, I thought this was like a nice, sweet little ballad of love, but perhaps not. And it's really interesting because I didn't unfortunately get to go. I cannot believe how normal and healthy I am today because I was supposed to. Context. I was supposed to see the film that is tied to this movie, which was going to have a music video for the Fate of Ophelia, and then also show lyric videos for each song, and then interviews from Taylor explaining them. And it's almost like she wants us to read the lyrics, right? Because why would she
have lyric videos? Be like, watch this. But yes, yesterday I was very sick this entire week. And yesterday it was like a flu, fever, but kind of congested, but kind of not. But then yesterday it was like the cold part of it. It was like, today you will experience a cold of 7 days in 1 day. It was insane. Like the entire day I don't even want to describe it. It was disgusting. But anyway, and then I went to bed and I woke up and I felt amazing. And let's talk about Taylor Swift.
And thank God, because I love talking about Taylor Swift. Wow, this really made me like the album even more than I already did.
Yeah, I really like it, especially studying the lyrics and getting more of that insight. I think, again, something that we already knew, but she just is very thoughtful in how she packages and presents herself. And I think there's a lot more to read between the lines.
I agree. She's both thoughtful, a craftswoman, and prolific. And I don't think it's fair to be all those things.
And she's notorious for her music videos dropping in hints. And unfortunately, the music video isn't released until tomorrow at 4:00.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording.
Now that I feel better, I might go see the movie.
You should.
Although maybe it's overkill. I mean, maybe I don't have any plans tonight. But maybe it's overkill to talk about Taylor Swift for like 2 hours and then where we read the lyrics and then go read the lyrics again. That maybe it's too much.
I'm so curious, like what the audience is like.
Yeah, that's one reason I didn't. Well, first of all, why I didn't want to go sick, because I feel like I would ruin everyone's experience, but also because I don't really know anyone who's a big fan of Taylor here who I could convince to come with me, and I wonder if it would be a little sad to be there alone, because I feel like a lot of people probably are doing it in a little bit of a...
I don't think so. I think whoever you'd be next to, it would be all
I become my new friend.
Yeah, they'd bring you into it.
Especially if I was wearing my cardigan.
Yeah.
You know? I was never meant to go until I got my cardigan. That is the truth.
That's the truth.
I didn't know it was coming today.
That's crazy.
That was luck.
I'm surprised it came so timely of the album.
I know, and it shipped from Nashville. It shipped the day before.
Oh my gosh.
Or the night it came out, it shipped. And it got here today. It's pretty quick.
Wow.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, as I'm sure we can both agree, we'll be back probably in a year to talk about Taylor Swift again, because I'm sure she'll have something else released to discuss.
Yeah. And please listen to our other episodes related to music. You mentioned at the top, but we did Lady Gaga's Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
We've done Taylor Swift's the Tortured Poets Department, and we've done Billie Eilish's
Hit Me Hard and
Hit Me Hard and Soft. Hit Me Hard and Soft. Yeah.
Also, side note, the Lady Gaga song Blade of Grass from Mayhem kind of reminded me of Eldest Daughter. The lilac part.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a side note, I forgot to
mention
that.
What's the lilac in Blade of Grass?
There's no like lilac, but it just was about love, and I don't know. It just gave me a similar feeling.
Please listen to our episode on Mayhem so you can...
Then you can tell me why.
The connection, yes.
Yeah.
In the comments. All right. This has been Queer Cinema Catch Up on Taylor Swift's album, The Life of Showgirl. I'm Joe.
And I'm Allison.
Thank you so much for listening. Please send us emails with album recommendations, movie, TV recommendations, or just your general insights or thoughts about queer cinema, queer TV, queer anything.
Miscellaneous topics.
Miscellaneous topics.
Like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And our email is queercinemacatchup@gmail.com. We're also on Apple, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram.
That's right.
Engage, and we'll see you next time.
And otherwise, these two showgirls are out. Thank you and good night.